Hey everybody, BDF44 coming at you with another video. So, I guess I'm in a talking mood. And I saw something that made me talk again. So I was just looking at a thread on Facebook as always, and somebody was going in, nothing, um, noteworthy, just the same old stuff you see, LeBron James hatred, and, it was a mentioning of Kyle Rittenhouse, the individual who was convicted of murdering several individuals. Um, oh no, excuse me, got that wrong. He was the guy that was actually acquitted, I think, if I'm not mistaken, of what it is that was going on there. He had shot someone in the middle of the street. Kid that it was his parents actually took him to that protest with guns, and I guess he found himself in a situation where he felt threatened. But either way, that's Kyle Rittenhouse. Got it mixed up. But either way, he had said "F you" to LeBron James or something, I guess, according to this article, in response to LeBron James saying something about him. So, it is what it is. But I think none of that matters. What brought me to this situation, to this conversation, was something completely different. It was the fact that I looked in the comment section, and I just didn't see any independent thoughts at all. Any independent thoughts at all. I know that a lot of us, we don't have time to really do too much due diligence or thinking. People are distracted by life, distracted by their own circumstances, got a million different things. But I think as it pertains to certain subjects, I just realize that a lot of us have been told what to think, how to feel, and you can see it. You can see it in the conversations we're having. You can really see the lack of independent thought from person to person to person to person to person. Um, and it just really brings me to a space where I want to kind of cipher through all of my opinions, just find out where some of those thoughts aren't even really mine, where some of that stuff has been like, you gotta really be careful about what you subject yourself to sometimes, because sometimes people can be really, really, really subjective. So, what's the word? Uh, Suggestive, making slight suggestions that you won't even really pick up on if you're not sharp, or even if you are sharp, depending on how good they are, you may not pick up on it, and you'll have things floating around in your head that will have been suggested by certain things that you subjected yourself to that you may not even necessarily agree with, but because it's agreed upon, you know what I mean, and spoken of as fact, you just kind of run with it and allow it to form other opinions that may work with it. And I just see so many people making that mistake. I'm sure I've made that mistake, and it's just something that I think we, on this channel, we can kind of talk about, point out, or just be aware of. And I think that's what it's about, man. A lot of people talk about how they want to wake people up and you can stay woke and all of this, but I just look around and I say there's a lot of thought that isn't independent that I see in various conversations. A lot of stuff that is just, you can see, is just massive suggestions that have been placed upon us by various things that we subjected ourselves to as a whole, as a massive group of people. We just tend to watch this, we tend to watch that, and we're subjecting ourselves to whatever it shows us, and then we run with it. And it's like, I just want to be someone who can take what it is that I see for entertainment, take from it what I should, like I'm doing now, drawing inspiration so that I can come here and bring forth independent thought. But I think that's what it is. I don't think everybody really maneuvers that way. I don't think everybody really looks to be self-aware in that way. Therefore, don't look to really be ciphering through the stuff that they're subjected to in a lot of states, in a lot of situations, and don't really look to fix that, I guess you could say, or question those things about themselves. We're gonna do that here. We're gonna try anyway. I find myself, as it pertains to sports, being someone who kind of doesn't want to uh, be one that runs with narratives, even though I found myself doing so, especially early on making this channel. I think that's one of the things that being on camera has helped me with, is helping me understand some of the stuff that maybe over time I don't agree with, or over time I can decipher has not necessarily been independent of it, and it allows me to, bring it to you guys as well. Like, for example, the Kyrie Irving conversation. A lot of my opinions and stuff about, talking about Kyrie Irving early on. Try saying that 3 times real fast. I had to really figure out there wasn't actually stuff that I'd seen anything from Kyrie in regards to. It was stuff that was said by guys like Stephen A. Smith and guys like, um, Shannon Sharp or whatever. Maybe they said a few things about Kyrie Irving that may have stuck with me, and I hear it so much. Maybe had a conversation with a couple other people and they agreed with the same thing that we heard, and we just run with it. And it's just, you get to a point where you don't even realize you were running with something that ain't, necessarily from the horse's mouth. You just hear it from so many different other mouths that you assume it's coming from the horse's mouth, and they speak about it so, adamantly and as if it's a matter of fact that you just kind of run with their confidence. We got to get smarter as people. We have to, as people, as masses of people who are raising others, who are raising a new generation in uncharted territory. We have to get smarter about how we allow what comes into our minds to affect our opinions as we take those opinions out into the real world. It's okay to have little cocktail drink conversations and yap about the tea, and that's all of that is well and good. But if you're not taking from it the lessons to learn, if you're not seeing the mistakes that the people are making while doing those things, if you're not asking questions about whether or not what's being said is honest, or if it's in context, or if you see all angles clearly, or if you whatever, however that goes, you just want to make sure you do your due diligence to make sure that you're not running with stuff that just simply may not be true. And I'm finding that it's harder to do that. It's harder to do that for some reason. So as I look out and I look at so many different people talking about the same stuff over and over again, regurgitating the same stuff over and over again, I just felt it was important to bring it to my channel to say, if I'm doing that, my intention is to wake up out of it. And I want to live in a world where people are constantly seeking a way to wake up out of that. We don't have to do away with the CNNs. We don't have to do away with our favorite entertainment sources. But we do need to understand that they are entertainment, and that they need to be ciphered through, double-checked, and ultimately, prayed over in some cases. If you're a faithful person, I would say give it prayer. And this is not a religious channel, but I definitely believe in spirituality on my end, and but I don't understand it. So I'll just say whatever it is that you believe in, run it through that. Filter your intake of not only what you see but what you hear through that system of whatever you believe is faithful, because I think we need to have something outside of ourselves filtered through some of these very, very, very manipulative and suggestive formulas that are used against us quite a bit. As the masses, we continue to be in the dark. However we are, at the end of the day, we know that we're not as free as we need to be necessarily, but we don't know to what extent. I don't think that we realize that maybe we are the ones that are in bondage in some cases. Maybe it's not just them that we see that's in bondage. Maybe it's us. And if we're not asking the right questions about ourselves, then chances are we're not going to figure that part out. So that's just what I think. So yeah, that's what I got to say, man. Even with what I say, it's a great time for me to tell you guys, and as I'm sure you guys know, I would love to be more accurate. You gotta fact check my numbers, because I'm gonna always give you some roundabout number. For whatever reason, numbers don't necessarily stay in my head. I need to do a better job of writing things down, right? But I will tell people, like, I tend not to be as accurate with my numbers. So until I get to a point where I'm better at that, I will tell all of my audience to just, if I give you some stats, they're roundabout. I am not a journalist, and I don't follow journalist rules. I'm an opinionist, and unfortunately, it's important to say that so people have an understanding of where you're coming from. So I'm an opinionist, and that's that. I said it twice. You got it. All right, my name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching me, man. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I want to say. I don't believe so. Have a blessed day, blessed evening. Peace.